think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Oh, yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh, yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey, it's too late to try to go contain it. A generation fueled by creation. We live lives on a small screen nation. We control the airwaves, no negotiation. I refuse to think we need saving. Something good will come from creation. And when we think that the world is too anxious, we'll adapt, evolve, survive, and save it. What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Oh, yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh, yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey, oh, yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh, yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome in. Hope everybody is having a wonderful weekend so far. It is officially the first day of fall here in North America, so happy fall. I know that's sad, right? Summer's over already. It went by so quick, but that's right. It's a part of it. And, well, it's a good, beautiful time of year. Get that nice cooler weather. We get the leaves changing colors. We get some pretty great scenery as well. And then it leads into that winter season, unfortunately for us, but that doesn't stop the racing here at GT45 Gaming Horror, the Gran Turismo racing community. So welcome in, everybody. Today, what is up today with our GTRC community? Well, on the screen in front of us is our GTRC Mini Cooper Challenge standings. So after 3 rounds of racing, we have Pigham's leading the championship with 94 points. We've got Doug Bro in second with 89 points. We've got Esports Matthew there with 60, Bar 27 with 58, Super with 57. Those top 5 drivers are going to be carrying extra championship weight here this to start our first race. So the top 5 drivers are going to have an added amount of weight to these racing cars to start the race, and then depending on how the finishing position of the drivers in race 1 goes, those drivers will also need to add ballast into race number 2. Open tuning series. It's a special set tune for these Mini Coopers here, and today we are, of course, over in Italy at Lago Maggiore Center layout. So the shortest layout of the, I believe, of all the layouts here in Italy at the Lago Maggiore circuits, and this is going to be a little bit of a doozy of a racetrack. It's well, I mean, it's small, it's tiny, it doesn't go very far. So let's go find somebody who's just jumping around on track here. We're going to be starting qualifying in about 3 minutes time, I think it is. Yes it is. So let's find us a driver to jump on here. Alright, there we go. Nick coming in with that thumbs up. How you doing, my guy? Hope you're doing fantastic. Hope you and the little ghost in the fam jam are doing well. Alright. just checking on the stream, we're just checking on the server, making sure we're not missing any important information. Alright, so let's talk about the ballast weights here before we get started, as we're on board with bar 27 here, it looks like. Alright, so Esports Matthew has third place ballast added on. We have Super here had to add some ballast on for being our fifth place finisher. Bar 27 and fourth also has some added on ballast. Doug Barrow and Pigum. So Pigum's weight of his car is at 2,288 pounds. Doug's is at 2,262. Bars is at 2,211. Super's is at 2,185. I'm not sure where Esports is. I don't see it listed here in the ballast weight page that I'm looking at, but the top 5 drivers in the championship standings will start race 1 with added weight into their racing cars. So of course, Pigham's being our championship points leader coming into round 4, obviously is going to have the most championship ballast added on, and then of course Doug in second will have a little less, and Bar in third, so on and so forth, all the way down through the top 5. All the drivers that are down below the top 5 are sitting at stock settings based off the series settings, so they will have a little bit, you would think, of an advantage over the drivers that have the added weight. They're going to have better tires, they're going to have better fuel conservation to start with in these cars, but they should be able to go a little bit quicker, you would think, as well around the racetrack. So it's going to be interesting to see how all this shapes out. And I think that's what's really been a big play in the series being so tight throughout the races here so far this season, with the Mini Coopers as well. So it's going to be a good race today without a question about these little Mini Coopers rip around the track pretty good here. So, well, I mean, settle in and just get ready to enjoy the show. Oh, it is really about all I can say, I guess. Alright, we're just setting some stuff up here behind the scenes while we're chatting. Alright, so still on board with bar 27 here. Oh, there we go. And so the lobby is being reset, so we should be seeing some qualifying, and it looks like we got 11 Mini Coopers on track here today, which is beautiful to see. And then we'll just, well, we'll see what they got for us here today. So we're just waiting for the word to come down. Quali is official now. So what we're going to see here is we don't do qualifying quite the same way here at the Gtrc that we do in typical other leagues that you see. We don't have a time qualifying run here. These drivers will get 6 laps around the track here for qualifying today. So 1 out lap and 5 hot laps. And then from there they'll pull off at the end of turn 1 until all 11 drivers have completed those set amount of laps. And then the lobby host will set the lobby to start the race underway after everyone has completed their qualifying sessions. So a little bit differently done here, and that's just because that's just how it rolls here. There's nothing wrong with that. So it makes for a little bit of fun. Some of the drivers do some donuts and do a little bit of stunting around here in between qualifying and racing. And yeah, it gives us a chance to kind of catch up and see what's going down. So alright, we're going to get that information up for everybody so we can see the times and all that good stuff. Alright, so we are now officially under qualifying condition here. We got bar 27 in beside, looks like Snow's in there. This is qualifying, gentlemen. We don't need to be racing. Everybody's still sorting themselves out here. So we're going to sit with Doug Barrow here, and a little bit of lag coming from this driver here today from my POV anyways. Might not be the case from his POV, but Gran Turismo 7 lobbies are a little bit less than optimal at the moment, so we're just making do with what we got as always. Alright, so we're going to stay on with Doug here. And I mean, there's not much to this racetrack. It has about 5 corners, and it's about 2 miles long, and it's just a perfect size shaped racetrack for these little Mini Coopers, let me tell you. So Doug's coming around here first, and it's going to be a 47.5. Hair Race is going to jump in pole position ahead here. Bigham's is in 4th, Type Bar's in 5th, Bar's in 6th, Taps in 7th, Super is coming across here, he's in 8th, we got Mike, there we go. He's just coming around this final very sharp 180 degree right hand hairpin corner here, and then this takes us up to the start finish line. So we cut a large part of the Grand Prix circuit out here on the center circuit. Really, we cut out all the complex corners. We have turns 1 and 2. Turns 3 is separated by a little sweeper, and then we have a little S sector as if we were heading into Big Banky, but instead of going down into the Big Bank corner here on the racetrack, we of course then make that hard right hairpin corner to come down to the start finish line. So we cut out a good 2/3 of this racetrack here with the center layout compared to the full course Grand Prix circuit that we're used to seeing. So we have Hair Razor sitting in pole, we got Doug coming in pit lane, we got Tap here in 3rd position, we got Mike currently sitting in 4th, we got Snozzer coming through to see if he improves there. Nope, he does not. So Bigham's coming out here, we've got Type R currently sitting in 7th, Bar's currently sitting in 8th, Supra's in 9th, and it's actually less than a second from 1st to 10th. It's only 6/10 of a second from 1st to 10th place. So super close here as well in qualifying already, and we only have a couple of laps under the belt of these drivers here so far. But it is a 47.254 here set by Hair Razor, who's our current pole sitter. Mike's moved himself up into 2nd place there with that last time around at a 47.5. Doug's there with a 47.509, literally 1/1000th of a second separating Doug and Mike. Type R just jumps up into 2nd place there with a 47.294, and less than a half a tenth below Hair Razor here currently, so getting really tight here. That's only a 100th of a second ahead of Snozzer, who's now got 2/10 over Mike 1972, so actually coming in with a nice time there as well. Doug Burrow 1/1000th of a second in behind Mike 1972. We got 3/100ths of a second between Tap and Doug. We've got Pigham's and Tap separated by much of the same thing. It's less than a tenth between Bar and Pigham's. Super there is about 3/10 of a second in behind. Puzzlement is a sliver in behind, and Lone Ghost is only half second in behind here, finding some time here now as well. So the top 11 drivers 1.1 seconds separating the top 11 here right now, basically nose to tail when you line them up in the grid and drive them across the track, I would assume. So very close qualifying here. Hair Razor's got 4/1000th of a second over Snozzer here, who's got only now 4/100ths over Type R, and then there's a little gap there. So the top 3 have about 2/10 between Mike and Doug, who are literally separated by the width of a piece of paper right now. Very, very close laps. We got Tap here in 6th, we got Pigham's here in 7th, we got Bar in 8th, we've got Super in 9th, we've got Puzzlement here in a 10th position, and Lone Ghost here in 11th place so far, but we're almost done these qualifying laps here already. Very short laps around the racetrack, so we're going to see a few laps around Maggiore Center layout here today. Traffic could potentially be an issue if drivers make mistakes and get into spins. It's going to be interesting to see. So we got Pigham's off on the end there. We got Hair Razor pulling off there. We've got, I believe that's Type R in behind there as well. Action Jackson comes in there. He can't get pole position away from Hair Razor. We got Mike on a flyer here. Let's stick with Mike as he's coming around the final corner for his last qualifying lap here. Let's see if he finds an improvement here as he comes down the start-finish line. It was a 47.6. It was definitely a good lap there. Doug's coming through here as well with, I think that's Tap there in front. And another one of those two drivers changed positions. Oh, that was not Tap. I'm not sure who that was. Alright, so I think that's it. I think we got our qualifying order. It's going to be Hair Razor in pole position with Snozzer lined up beside him. It's going to be Type R to start row 2 with Mike in beside him. Starting row 3 is going to be Doug Burrow with Tap lined up beside him. In row 4 is going to be Pigham's here with Bar 27 lined up beside him. And then row 5 is going to be Supra and Puzzlement. And rounding out the field here is going to be Lone Ghost here in 11th position. So 1.1 seconds separates the whole field here today. And that should make for some pretty close racing. All right, so it's going to be a 30-minute race here in race number 1, and I believe there is a tire change in this race. If I'm not mistaken, it is a mandatory tire change in race number 1 here. I'm a little rusty. It's been I've just been out of tune with what's happening here with the series. I've been so busy, so I do apologize on that part. Information is not fully in depth. Leo, how's it going, my guy? See with that heart on the stream, we appreciate you, my guy. Thanks, Bar. Alright, we're getting ready to go racing, chat. Here we go. Race number 1 is lined up on the grid. It's going to be led off the green flag drop here by our number 69 car, Hair Razor. So kick them tires, light them fires. We're going racing, chat. We going racing. All right, here we go. We are green, we're going, and everybody gets off the line nice and clean. It looks like Piggums gets a little bit of a slow start there coming off the line, and he's going to settle in right in the back of the pack here. So it is Hair Razor to take turn 1 in the lead, but he's going to give up that inside line to Snozzer, and Snozzer's just going to back out there. So Hair Razor gets through turns 1 and 2 here, holding that position. Snozzer in second place. We got Mike side by side with Type R here for 3rd and 4th position, and that also has Tap taking a look there as well. So it is going to be Mike in 3rd, it's going to be Doug in 4th, it's going to be Type R in 5th. We got Tap there in 6th, and this should be fun. It's going to be a spicy little race here today. We got Bar 27 and Supra battling here for 7th and 8th position, and ooh, big lag spike right there in the lobby. So some funny dancing happening there in Supra's car. He just gives that position up to Bar. We got Piggums here in 9th place. We got Puzzlement right in behind in 10th position. It was Puzzlement's car that we seen there, and it was Lone Ghost here right in 11th position. So it's still Hair Razor leading the charge here. You see Snozzer getting to go on the outside of the quarter. We got Mike and Doug battling for 2nd and 3rd place here in behind, and it's side by side action. 2 deep. Tap Type R also battling. It is almost 3 wide as we come around that little corner there, and Mike's going to hold the position here from Doug for the time being, but Doug's going to take a look up the inside coming around the next part of the S's here. A little bit of wheel slide there, and a little bit of contact between the cars. No harm, no foul there. We're still side by side, hard racing here, and it's a battle for the lead up front here between Hair Razor and Action Jackson here as well. And we got battles 2 deep, 3 wide here through the beginning of the pack here on race 2, and we're going to see a lot of this early on in this 30-minute race. Good luck, drivers. Can't wait to watch the action here tonight. Hey, appreciate you, my guy. Appreciate you. Alright, so it is still side-by-side action, and Snozzer does have the line here. He's got the inside line, and he's going to get the job done finally here on Hair Razor. So we're going to have a position change here, our 2nd race leader, and our 1st lead change of the day, and it goes to Action Jackson here, getting the job done. But it was a very aggressive, hard-fought, 1-lap battle here around Lago Maggiore center layout. Mike is going to hold down 3rd place from Doug here, and Doug's just going to settle in 4th place for the time being. Type R has moved into 5th place with Bar 27, finally getting the job done there, up into 6th. Tap settles in 7th place here with Piggums, our championship leader, starting to try and roll through the field here in 8th position. And he's going to close right up, almost had to bail out a little bit there, and then Supra had to bail out, and that opens the door for Puzzlement in behind here in 10th place, and it's a battle here now between Puzzlement and Supra as we head down the racetrack here in side-by-side action here every lap so far, which is fantastic racing from these Mini Coopers, and we're doing a good job here so far. Supra holding down the defensive position here, and as we head into turn number 1, he's definitely lagging a little bit, which is probably making it a little difficult for Puzzlement to judge where that car is exactly, but he's going to settle in behind Supra here for the time being in 10th position. But boy, that was a good little attempt there, and Lone Ghost is just off the back there in 11th. So it's now Snozzer here still in the lead. He's got 0.2 of a second on our pole sitter Hair Razor here, and boy, the fight is on between these two here. Hey, what is up, Josh? How you doing, my guy? Doug now fighting back with Mike here for that position, and we're going to go take a little relook at that battle there as we just caught the tail end of it here. So Doug does have the position coming out of the S's there, and I believe that's Type R getting into the mix there as well. So Doug does manage to get his way around, but it goes 3 wide under the braking zone there, and Type R actually had to back out of that there. So that's some good decision making here by those 3 drivers, and that was a good healthy little battle there between Type R, Doug, and Mike 1972 here as well for 3rd, 4th, and 5th place. So there we go, a little couple starting to break into groups here. We got our lead 2, Snozzer and Hair Razor, and they've got 2-second gap on the next group of cars, which is led by currently Doug Barrow right now. And ooh, I thought we were going to see Hair Razor maybe take a look there. Mike's going to take a look here on Doug as we enter the corner. No, Doug's just taking a wide entry line there. Type R again just settles in behind here for the time being. We've got the next group of drivers led by Tap here, and then he's got Bar 27 tucked in behind in 7th place, and our championship points leader Piggums here in 8th, and then just in behind them is Supra and Puzzlement here in 9th and 10th place, and then Lone Ghost here just off in the distance here in behind a little bit, and race by race just continues to improve. So we love to see it. He's out there working hard every week. But right now it's this man, Action Jackson, cruising into Valvoline Cooper here, and he has a hair raiser plastered to the rear hatch of that Mini Cooper here as we head up into the final hairpin, and we're going to see a battle for position here. Again, it's a battle for the race lead here as we come around the corner. We're only 5 minutes into a 30-minute race here so far, ladies and gentlemen, so settle in. I think we're in for a doozy today, and it's going to be hair raiser to take the lead back from Snozzer here. So another lead change here, second lead change of the day, and now the second time that hair raiser has led this race, and I suspect we're going to be seeing this change hands a few times here before this race is over. But right now it's hair raiser back in the lead with Snozzer tucked on his rear hatch here now as we head to the little right hand kink sweeper corner here. It's a weird corner. You got to be patient with that corner. You get it wrong, you can see you can get out to those long toolies there and do a little lawn maintenance for the racetrack here. So we still got Doug. He's broken a little bit free from 4th and 5th place here, so he's got 2.2 seconds to the 2 up front, but he's now got a 1 second gap from Mike and Type R here in 4th and 5th place, and that's huge for Doug here. He's not giving them a free pull down the racetrack here now they got to work to get back caught up, but now the pack is starting to tighten up here in the back, as in behind Type R is Tap. And after a work stint, finally back on track, you're able to give it a run today, so we love seeing him on track. And currently sitting in 6th place and closing in here on Type R. That leaves Bar 27 here, still sitting nice and strong in 7th position, with Piggums right there in 8th place as well. And as we come around the second corner here, you can see the drivers with this ballast struggling a little bit here in the race today. We got Super here in 9th position, and these are 3 drivers we just went through that all have added weight to those cars. We got Puzzleman here in 10th position, and we got Lowen here in 13th place, and doing good. We keep monitoring those gaps every race from Lowen goes to the rest of the pack, and he continues to show that improvement every week. We got Josh and Kilty coming in with a thumbs up on the stream as well. We also got Ruben coming in with that thumbs up on the stream. Appreciate everybody coming in to hang out with us here today, and welcome in on the YouTube channels as well. Alright, so it is still hair raiser here leading the way, but Snozzer has not given him an inch, and he makes a little bit of a mistake on the braking there as he came in a little hot due to the slipstream from in behind the race leader and had to bail out a little bit, so that gives him a little bit of separation now. It's going to be interesting to see how that works out. We got Doug here in 3rd place, and Mike's starting to close back in a little bit here on Doug. He's opened up a little bit of a gap now on Type R, and Tap is starting to close in even closer here now on Type R. So definitely going to be lots of battles happening throughout this race. We got Bar 27 here in 7th, with Piggum just half a second in behind there in 8th place. We got Puzzlement now making her way around Supra here, and is going to move up into... No, we're still side by side here. Supra's got the inside line coming around the next corner. We're going to get a cut back from Sarah from Puzzlement here, and does she get the job done? Ooh, we're still side by side as we head up to the start-finish line. Currently in 9th place as they come across the start-finish line, so she's gotten the job done when it comes down to the timing here. But it's still battle heading into turn 1 here, and Super does have that inside line, but if Puzzlement can hang it out here, she's got the inside line to the next 2 corners, and that is exactly the case here. She should be able to make this pass happen as we head around into this right-hand sweeper, and oof, takes a little bit of the curb there. Now forces the car a little bit wider as she was anticipating, and that re-engages the battle here as Super's car is dancing all over the racetrack due to lag here today again, but it is what it is. And Super manages just to get the spot back, so there's that little mistake made there by Puzzlement on the curbing there, and that was enough for Super to get the car back in and get that position back here. So I doubt that that battle is finished between those two here. We got Lone Ghost here sitting in 11th position here, so it is Hair Razor still leading the charge, and Snozzer still right there, so he's closed that gap back up to half a second here. So working on re-engaging that battle with our race leader here is Snozzer. We've got Doug Barrow here in 3rd position, and ooh, he got it a little bit wrong. We were talking about that. You get out into that grass and you're mowing down some of them there pretty little flowers on the racetrack edge there. So Doug very fortunate not to lose that race car, but that definitely is going to allow Mike now to gain some momentum and get back on the back hatch of that 3rd place driver up in front. And as we're coming in through the hairpin there, you can see him close up big time, and Doug again out into the grass, and that is going to continue to cost him time on the racetrack. And we got Type R and Tap battling there as well in behind these two. So battle for 3rd and 4th and 5th and 6th happening here on the racetrack right now at the same time, and it is still Doug Burrow here, and he's going to hold that position for the time being from Mike 1972, and Type R and Tap here still battling quite hard as well. and Type R is still going to hold back into P5 here and keep Tap behind in 6th place, but pressure's starting to mount here between some of the drivers. We got Bar 27 and Piggums here in 7th and 8th place, and these two aren't really fighting. It seems like they're working to try and catch up to the group up in front of them here right now. We got Supra and Puzzlement nose to tail here in 9th and 10th place as well, still very actively engaged in that battle for position between the two of them. And Lone Ghost there in 11th position is coming. He's working it. Alright, so let's go. We're on lap 13 here, 9 minutes and 45 seconds into this race, and it is still Hairraiser leading the way here, and Snozzer has not let him go anywhere, so it is going to be a fight between these two here today. We've got Doug here in 3rd position and holding pretty strong here so far. We've got Mike in 4th place, we've got Tap here in 5th, so Tap has made his way around Type R here. Not sure what happened there, but Type R was a gap there even, almost 3/4 of a second in behind Tap here, so Tap got the job done and grabs P5 from Type R. Still Bar 27 here in 7th place and Piggums in 8th, but again, these two don't appear to be battling at all. These two appear to be just moving and grooving, and I think it's working here. It looks like they're starting to catch the back end of Type R and Tap a little bit up in front there, and essentially that's a 4-car group up in front there. That could be a potential podium position battle there, starting to develop up in that second pack. Snozzer here has taken a race lead back from Hairraiser, so another lead position here, so a 3rd lead change of the race, and it's the 2nd time now that Snozzer's led this race, so it has been a little bit of position change between Hairraiser and Snozzer here for this race lead so far today, and very equally paced are these two drivers here on the racetrack clearly today as well, and they are absolutely just driving away from the field here right now. Almost got that opened up to 5 seconds on Hairraiser, who's now being challenged by Mike 1972 there, and squeezed a little tight coming into the corner there, a little bit of contact, but everybody makes it through, and now that's Piggums, Tap and Type R looking here as well. And it's going to be Tap up the inside of Mike 1972 here as we head into turn 1. But if Mike can hold strong there, he's going to have the inside track coming into turns 2 and 3, and that is the case. And we're seeing a lot of that here, and it's all about positioning here in this racetrack to get moves done. It's a short lap, so you don't have a whole lot of time to make it done, but it's a lot of high speed, so it's a lot of patient driving, closing up the gap when you need to close it up, and making the move in whichever corner that's your preferred corner to make that move in. So we've been seeing a lot of that here today, and we're going to see Tap pull out at the inside of Mike 1972 coming into this hairpin right-hander here to lead us into the start-finish line, and Mike gets a great line through there and absolutely defends the position from Tap here in 5th place, and that was some good racing right there between the two drivers. Type R here is in 6th place, and he's tucked right in behind this as well, trying to take advantage. At least Bar 27 and now in behind Piggums, so Piggums has made his way around Bar as they try to continue to close up that front pack here. And then we've got Supra and Puzzlement battling for 9th and 10th place here again in the backside of the field as well, heading into turns 1 and 2. This is a good, healthy battle between these two drivers here in race number 1 today. Love to see it. Love to see it. We got Lone Ghost here in 11th place, and he's moving and grooving. Alright, so it is Action Jacks is still holding the lead from Hairraiser here for the time being, and actually opening up a little bit of a gap here on Hairraiser right now. Doug Burrow here, he's trying to get away from that crazy battle happening in behind him here right now in 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th place. And it's 2x2 in behind him right now there again between Mike and Tap, and Type R is still just chilling right there in 6th place right now, just front row seat watching all the action happen in front of him here as these two continue to battle it out for 4th and 5th place here. And it is still Mike 1972. He's doing a great job of really putting that Mini Cooper in the right places here, not really allowing Tap an easy way through here. He's really forcing Tap to do it on the long way around the corner, or to make the right move at the right point in time, basically. So let's see what happens here. Is Tap? Yeah, Tap is going to take a look. Mike thought about going defensive there, but he does not, and again just takes that same line through that corner, and he just gets a good run through there, and he's able to keep Tap in behind. So Tap isn't really forcing the issue here right now, but he's definitely taking a look. So those two come into pit lane, Mike and Tap here right now, so that's going to put Piggums up in the 5th. Puzzlement is going to continue around with Supra coming into pit lane here. That puts him into pit lane. Puzzlement's going to grab P7 here as she comes around. Lone Ghost here in 11th place. I don't think he's made his pit stop yet here, judging on the tires and the condition of those tires here on the racetrack right now, but I could be wrong. He could have done a very early pit stop and just be running the rest of the race out. You never know what the driver's strategy is. We have Snozzer here still in the race lead here. He's been looking real strong in these Mini Coopers here all season long. So trying to look for a race win here right now in race number 1. He's going to come into pit lane, give that race lead back to Hair Razor there. So our 4th lead position already. Position change here tonight. The 3rd time that Hair Razor's now led this race. So if there were points for most laps led or something like that, it would be very, very close between Snozzer and Hair Razor here right now on the racetrack on who has most laps led. If we had something like that happening, it's super, super close between those two right now. Type R is going to move up into 3rd place, with Doug moving up into 2nd. Piggums moves up into 4th place. With those pit stops up in front, that leaves Bar in 5th. We've got Snozzer comes out in 6th place here. Mike comes out in 7th position. We've got Tap here in 8th. Puzzleman's getting some tires on that racing car right now, and Super's going to come around and grab that position back, and Lone Ghost going to come around and grab that position here as well. And then we have another driver heading into pit lane. It's going to be our race leader, Hair Razor, coming into pit lane here. So when is Doug going to come in? Doug's also going to come into pit lane. So is Type R. Piggums is going to stay out. Alright, so Piggums continues on down around the racetrack. So does Bar 27. Our race leader comes in, Doug Barrow comes in, and Type R comes in. Snozzer's going to stay out. Obviously, he pit last time around going for the undercut, and he's going to grab at that position from all of those drivers coming into pit lane here. So the undercut looking to be very powerful here so far on the racetrack. So Piggums has 1.8 second gap on Bar 27 here right now. The bigger question is when does Piggums decide to stop and come back in? Snozzer has 12 seconds to Piggums right now behind the leader. We've got Hair Razor here in 4th place. We've got Doug in 5th. So Piggums will be the 3rd different race leader here tonight. That'll be the 5th time that the race lead has changed hands here as well. So obviously with pit stop sequence happening, we're going to see a couple of swaps for the race lead here until those pit stop sequences all sort themselves out. But currently right now it is Piggums and Bar 27 up in 1st and 2nd, with Snozzer in 3rd. Hair Razor chasing here in 4th. 1.4 seconds is the gap to him and Snozzer. Doug Barrow here in 5th place, with Type R still chasing in 6th. We got Mike 1972 and Tap in 7th and 8th place. And Type R gets a big jump in pit lane there. He jumps 2 drivers. That was a good pit stop there for Type R. Puzzlement here still settles in front of Supra here, so it is a great battle between these two drivers here today, between Puzzlement and Supra here in 9th and 10th position, and Lone Ghost here in 11th, so doing good here so far, doing good, he's doing good. Let's go GT45 game in for the quick like, back to work today, hope to catch you all tight tomorrow. Hey, glad to hear it, Kill, just take it easy my guy, don't over stress yourself. Just keep pushing, man, just keep feeling better my dude. Alright, so Piggums still the race leader here. The big question is when are we going to see these two really make their pit stops? So, of course, Piggums and Bar have weight added on coming into race number 1 here. Of course, Piggums with the most weight added onto his racing car here. He described it like having a couple of boat anchors in the trunk of his car here right now as he's coming around the racetrack. So, currently sitting in 3rd place. He's got Bar 27 just a couple seconds in behind, and then Snozzer gaining a little bit of time there on those two up in front with that pit stop. Hair Razor here in 4th place. He's slowly starting to close back in on the Snozzer there as well. Ooh, my mic is doing funny things. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. Doing weird things. He's moving that shouldn't be moving. Alright, Type R here in 6th place. We got Mike here in 7th. We got Tap in 8th. We got Supra and Puzzlement here still battling for 9th and 10th right now. Supra in 9th and Puzzlement in 10th place. And we got Mr. Lone Ghost here in 11th position. So, back up to our race leader here, and Bar 27 have yet to make their pit stops. You can see he's just kind of closing in on our 11th place driver here right now, but again, still owes that pit stop, so not going to take it now, and neither is Bar 27. I assume we're going to see those two drivers stop at the same time. Snozzer here in 3rd place, close about a second up in the last 3 laps here on the race leaders. We got Hair Raiser coming through now, fastest driver on the racetrack, 47.133 that last time around. Doug Burrow here in 5th place with a whole pack in tow here with Type R in 6th, Mike in 7th, Tap in 8th, Super Ed Puzzleman here in 9th and 10th place, and that still very close together in those 2 drivers, so I doubt that battle's over here before the end of the race. We got just a little under 11 minutes remaining here, and we got Lone Ghost here in 11th place. He's got the blue flag being waved to him here right now as Piggums and Bar 27 are closing in, but now Piggums diving into pit lane. And as I figured, Bar was going to follow him in. So when Snozzer and Hair Raiser come around, they should take those positions back from those 2 drivers and retain the race lead here, and that should be the case. Snozzer is going to take the race lead back here as he comes around, so our 6th lead change here today in this very short 30-minute race, and Snozzer's 3rd time also leading this race here today. Hair Raiser's coming out in 2nd place. That puts Doug back up at the 3rd with Type R in 4th place. Mike here in 5th with Tap sitting right there in 6th. Piggums comes out just in behind those 2. That pack, sorry, in 7th place. Bar 27 comes out about 3 seconds in behind Piggums, so loses about a half second on the pit stop. Super here in 9th with Puzzlement still in 10th position as well. And thought we were going to see a little battle action happening there between these 2. We got Lone Ghost making his pit stop here now in 11th position here as well. So that will officially put him a lap down here as the race leaders come through. But still doing good. He's doing real good here. Where, like I said, we see improvement week in and week out every time he's on track with the drivers. So racing and doing his thing. We got Snozzer here in the lead. We've got Hair Raiser here in 2nd place. We've got Doug Burrow in 3rd. We've got Type R here in 4th. We got Mike in 5th place, and him and Tap are kind of re-engaged in that fight for that position here again. That leaves Piggums, though, very close behind in 7th place, but what is it, 8/10 of a second here right now. Not really close enough to make anything happen immediately, but he's definitely there and in the conversation here. We got Puzzleman here in 10th and Lone Ghost here in 11th place, just coming in behind them drivers there right now. So, as you can see, very short laps here around Lago Maggiore Center. Like I said, it's about a 2-mile racetrack. It's a very, very small racetrack. It is mostly compromised of high-speed sections with a few corners. So turn 1 right here as Snozzer and Hair Raiser come around here, basically nose to tail here again. Turn 2 right now, a huge hard hairpin. Now here normally you'd set up to go left on the Grand Prix circuit, but you can see the wall there. Instead we move to the right, and that takes us immediately into the S's, exiting Big Bank Corner. And then from there, of course, that takes us into what would normally be a bunch of S corners, and that just instead takes us into a hard right-hand hairpin that immediately just takes us right back around to the start-finish line right here. So juicy little fast-paced layout here in the Maggiore Center Circuit. And I mean, that's it. That's a lap around the racetrack. Not much to it. Let's jump on board with our current race leader here and let him do it on board with us here. So you see Hair Raiser in that rearview mirror, and you want to take as much of that curve as you can, and you want to really close in tight to the second apex. You don't want to leave room there. You're leaving room for a competitor to get in there, and then you're just going to sit here on the left. You're just going to lift a little bit, not catch that sausage because it'll throw you out, and then back on the throttle. Full speed through the S's here, and if you got the line just right, you can full speed around this corner here as well. That takes you out to the curb, and you want to use all the racetrack like we're seeing Snozzer do here. At about the 50-meter board, you're breaking down into second gear here in these cars. I'm not sure because of street cars, and then utilizing all that exit. You got a little late on the throttle there. You could have maximized a little more of that corner there, in my opinion, but you're doing a fantastic job here in the race lead. I mean, it's a quick lap. 47 seconds, 48 seconds around this racetrack, so a good battle though here between Snozzer and Hair Raiser, and what is going to happen. We got 7 minutes and 13 seconds left on the clock here. We got Doug in 3rd place. No immediate pressure here from 4th place to Type R, but I mean, it's definitely active in behind Type R here. We still got Mike in 5th place. We still got Tap looking for a way around Mike in 5th place, and we got Piggums just sitting there in 7th place and behind chilling right now. We got Bar 27 here in 8th position. We got Super here in 9th. We got Puzzlement in 10th place, and Lone Ghost here rounding our field. in 11th position. So there we go, inside battle for the race lead here. Hairraiser takes a look up the inside out of the final corner on Snozzer, and it's going to be a drag race to the start-finish line here with 6 minutes and 38 seconds remaining. And it's going to be Snozzer at the line, still with the race lead, but Hairraiser is going to move it across into the inside line to turn 1 here, and he's going to try and get the job done. He's going to send it deep, and Snozzer is going to respond here. I thought he was going to take a look up the inside there, but he just decides to settle in behind Hairraiser. Hairraiser takes the race lead back from Snozzer here on a lap number 30. So with 6 minutes and 15 seconds left on the clock, here we go again. Hairraiser now leading this race. Snozzer in 2nd place. We got Doug there in 3rd. We've got Type R here in 4th. We got Mike in 5th with Tap in 6th. And Pigham's right there in 7th place. So those 3 cars very close together there. And Tap just cannot find a way around Mike 1972 right now. I mean, Mike is just doing everything right here to continue to defend that position, but boy, a mistake made by Tap, and that's not going to allow Pigham to get up the inside there. It's going to be a drag race between these 2 drivers up the start-finish line. However, Pigham has much more weight than Tap does in his race car, so Tap is going to win that drag race up the start-finish line, and Pigham's just going to have to settle right back in behind here in 7th place, and you can see what that championship ballast is doing to Pigham's straight line speed here on the racetrack. He absolutely just got outdrove on the straight line there by that car that has no added ballast to it. So that is the fun and intrigue, adding championship ballast to these race cars in the series. Bar 27 here in 8th place. We got Puzzleman here in 9th. We got Supra in 10th. So Puzzleman and Supra still swapping that position around here on the racetrack, much like our race leaders here today. And Lone Ghost here in 11th place. So this has been a pretty good action-packed filled little half-hour race here so far from our Mini Cooper drivers. So Hairraiser in the lead. Snozzer closes up into turn 1 here, and he is right there, right back on the rear bumper of this Mini Cooper, the leader here again, and then his battle back on for the race lead. Got 4 minutes and 45 seconds remaining, and boy, oh boy, it is going to be right down to the wire here, potentially, I think, today between these 2. Doug's in comfortable position here right now in 3rd place. We've got Type R here in 4th place, with Mike still defending that 5th place position from Tap, and Pigham's in behind here right now. Tap doing just everything he can here to try and find a way around Mike, and Mike just continues to have that response. Mike again going immediately defensive into the next corner, and just not allowing Bar or Tap at this point to even get a nose inside to try and get something to happen there. So here we go. We might see something happening here. Let's see what happens. Tap's going to go up into the outside of turn 1 here. This is kind of ideal for Tap heading into turns 2 and 3 if he can hang it outside with Mike through turn 1, but he can't. Mike gets the job done there. He's going to hang it tight. Tap's going to look for a good exit here. Is he going to get it? No, he cannot get the cut back there. He was really looking to try and get that nose inside on exit. He just couldn't get the job done. And I got to tell you, Mike is absolutely defending like a champion here right now, holding these drivers off here in 5th place. I mean, he's battling for that 5th place like it is a race lead here right now, and these drivers just cannot find their way around. So some good defensive racing. Oh, but he makes the mistake. There it is. There it is. The pressure, the mistake made. And come on, camera guy. Tap's going to finally get the job done. He's going to move up to 5th. Pigham's is going to jump up into 6th place there. Mike's actually going to drop 2 spots. So just made a mistake in the corner, went deep into the corner, and that cost him those 2 positions. So the constant pressure there, finally making a mistake there up at 5th place, and that allowed 2 drivers to get around there. And that's unfortunate there for Mike. But boy, what an absolutely great job of defending up to that point. Hairraiser and Snozzer here with just under 3 minutes remaining here, and I mean, this is getting intense here. You can see Snozzer's pushing. He's got the inside now, and it's going to be a pass made here from Snozzer. He's going to take the race lead back from Hairraiser, and we got 2 minutes and 45 seconds remaining. This is some racing right here, ladies and gentlemen. This is what it's all about with these Mini Coopers. We got Doug Burrow here in 3rd place. Got Type R still in 4th. Now we got Tap in 5th, and Pigham's in 6th here. We got Mike down in 7th place. We got Bar 27 trying to close in there in 8th. We got Puzzleman in 9th, driving away a little bit there from Super in 10th place. We got Lone Ghost here in 11th. So let's get back to the race lead here. This battle may not be done yet before this race is over here. Right now the gap is about half a second here. So in Mini Cooper terms, it's about 5 car lengths because they're such small little cars. But we've seen these 2 close each other up very, very quickly here on this racetrack throughout this whole 30-minute race, and we're not seeing a whole lot different there. Hairraiser really sent it into that final corner there to try and close up on Snozzer here as we start lap 36, and the gap's now 0.4 of a second in closing. So here we go again. going to have about 2, maybe 3 laps remaining here from our leaders as they come around. Doug here in third place. Type R is looking real strong in fourth. We got Tap there in fifth with Pickham's still chasing there in sixth place. Bar 27 is now gotten around Mike here in eighth place, and I feel like Mike is doing a little bit of fuel saving here, and I think that is what we're seeing out of that driver. Puzzleman here in ninth place. We got Super there in 10th. We got Lone Ghost here in 11th position. As I'm looking at the tanks of some of these race cars, some of these drivers getting very, very low on fuel here. So all the drivers in the red, typically meaning you're about within 3 laps of your fuel window. So I guess it's going to come down to see what first and second has in the tank here. Who has more fuel? We got a minute left. We're going to see 2 laps to go here as these two come around and head into turns 1 and 2 here for the second last time here in this first race. And it is Hair Razor right on top of Snozzer here. And boy, hasn't this been the story all day today in race number 1. Got Doug Barrow in 3rd. We got Type R in 4th. Tap closing in 5th. We got Pickham's in 6th. We got Barr in 7th with Mike in 8th. Definitely feel safe in that car. We got Puzzlement and Super here in 9th and 10th, also closing up on that driver. He could potentially lose more position here yet on the racetrack if he's really got to feel safe that much. So here we go. Hair Razor and Snozzer coming around the final corner here on Lago Maggiore Center, and it's going to be a final lap when they cross the start-finish line here, and it's going to be seconds to spare with that with the race timer here. So here we go. Battle is on. 1 lap showdown here for the race lead between these two, and we're not leaving it. We're going to stick with it here. And Hair Razor is going to be taking a look up the inside here, but that will give Snozzer the inside line for the next 2 corners. And no, Hair Razor sends it in super low, super late, super deep, and he's going to get the position made here coming through turns 1 and 2. But Snozzer is still right there in behind as we head through turn number 3 here. And as we head into turns 4, 5, and 6, right now it is Hair Razor with the race lead. We got Mike coming across the finish line there in 8th position. And we'll go check out the back half of the field here in just a second, but we're going to stick with our race leaders here as we head into the final corner. And Mike there, Snozzer takes a big run. Oh, and we're side by side coming through the corner. Here we go. It's a drag race to the start finish line. Lone Ghost is going to come around there in 11th position. Hair Razor still has that race lead, but boy, that gap is closing, and it's going to be a photo finish at the start finish line, and it's going to be Hair Razor with the race win. 8/1000ths of a second over Snozzer for second place. Insane. We got Doug Barrow there in 3rd. We got Type R in 4th, and Tap right behind in 5th. Pickham's right there, championship leader, coming through in 6th place. Bar 27 is going to be the last driver to take the checkered flag here in race 1 in 7th. It's going to be Mike in 8th place. Puzzlement does win nap charge between her and Super there in the 9th place. Super does get to take 10th place, and Lone Ghost rounding out her field here in 11th position. And yet another photo finish here from our GTRC Mini Coopers. Oh my, ladies and gentlemen, that was a doozy of a race. Alright, so unofficial results here is Hair Razor with the race win by 8/1000ths of a second over Snozzer in 2nd place. Doug Barrow's going to lock in that final podium position. Type R is going to sit there in 4th. Tap in 5th with Pickham's in behind in 6th place. Bar 27 comes here in 7th. Mike in 8th. It's Puzzlement here finishing up in 9th place. Super there in 10th, and Lone Ghost in 11th. And I mean, all in all, what a race by these 11 drivers here in race number 1. There was not a second on this racetrack where there was not a great battle happening. That was good stuff right there. Well done, Razor, Snozzer, and Doug. Absolutely amazing race. Close finish. Can't wait to see the next race. I know, me too. That's so we're going to have a little bit, there's going to be a pause in between, and that allows, of course, the administration, race control officials to make those ballast adjustments for the drivers, and now are going to have to add some ballast depending on how race 1 finished. And then that also allows our host of the lobby, Hair Razor, to set that grid and get ready for race number 2. So it'll be about a 5 to 10 minute break here in between the 2 sets of races. So that was some great racing right there between Hair Razor and Snozzer for the race lead there. And that mid-pack battle all race long. Mike and Tap, I mean, a healthy battle between those 2 drivers all race long. And that backpack battle between Puzzlement and Supra in 9th and 10th place too. I mean, those 3 battles were absolutely strong, healthy battles, all 30 minutes long here today. So it's going to be a doozy here in race number 2 without a question of a doubt. Tap, check in. Thank you, my man. Appreciate you. some interesting some interesting exit intros. Yeah, well, I mean, what can we say, chat? That was pretty spectacular. Great job by the GTRC racing community right there. These Mini Coopers have just been a blast all season. When they announced these things for the registration, I knew it was going to be a fun series, and it has not disappointed. Josh coming with the thumbs up, killed with a quadruple share there too, my guy. We appreciate you. All right. That was some good racing. That was some good racing without a question of a doubt right there. Alright, so the lobby has been set and the drivers are checking themselves in. Let's go see what we're in store for. We got a 20-minute sprint race here. It's going to be a reverse grid based off race 1 finishing order. We're at late morning at a 5 times weather variable, and it's going to be 2 times tire wear and 3 times fuel here, and of course that soft tire being a mandatory tire here. And I don't know if there's a mandatory tire change in race number 2 or not. I'm not 100% sure on that. I'm sure one of the staff will verify that. But we should have about a 5-minute break here. So with that being said, let's flip back over to here. Let's get rid of that intro for a second. Let's talk about, again, those championship standings. So we're going to bring that up here on the screen in front of everybody, and our championship leader there, who's got a decent little points lead on Doug there right now, only coming in 6th place, where Doug came in 3rd place, so 3 positions gained on Pagums there with the point structure. That's really going to tighten up the championship lead standings after race number 1 here. Esports Matthew obviously not here today. That's going to allow Bar 27 to grab some extra points and leapfrog up into that top 3. Super didn't have a great race finish here in race number 1. Type R had a spectacular race finish, so these standings are really going to start to tighten up here up in the top half, it looks like, as these races continue. Hairraiser with the race win there, that's going to pick up big points for him. That's going to move him up into the conversation here as well. So really now it's going to come down to what happens here in race number 2. Just a sprint, no mandatory pit. That's what I thought. We're almost dialed back in. Appreciate you, Bar. Alright, so that's just kind of where we're at. Just want to bring those standings back up and just kind of refresh our brains where we're at here. So Doug and Pagums basically are coming into race number 2 separated by maybe a mere 1 or 2 points at this point. So of course now race control is going to be verifying through tech inspection that our top 5 finishers in race number 1 are adding any according ballast to their racing cars, and once they get all of that sorted out in behind the scenes, we'll get this race back underway. So it's going to be reverse order based off of the finishing result of race number 1. So Hairraiser is going to start in the back of the pack with Snozzer right there with him, and then Doug and Type R and Tap and Pagums all the way up through to Lone Ghost starting on pole position here in race number 1. So it's mini racing at its finest here at the Gran Turismo racing community, and of course I'm your host for the evening, GT45 Gaming. So we appreciate everybody coming in, hanging out with us, and yeah, if you haven't shared this out yet, what are you waiting for? There's some great Mini Cooper racing action happening here on the racetrack. So you get everybody in to see what's happening over here in Gran Turismo 7. And that's the nice thing about the Gran Turismo 7 platform. It doesn't have to be just racing cars. It can be street cars. And GTRC is definitely no stranger and not scared to dabble in with the street version racing cars here in the series and these events that they do on over here as well. So been a great series here so far, these Mini Coopers, and I think there's going to leave drivers wanting more at the end of the season, potentially even, I bet, but we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, great racing here from all these Mini Cooper drivers so far. Alright, so let's just recheck on everything here. Everything seems to be okay. We're always monitoring the streaming equipment carefully. Sometimes it just likes to have its moments, you know? Alright, so we got Lone Ghost on pole position. Supra in second place. It's going to be Puzzlement in row 2 with Mike in fourth place. We got Bar 27 lined up in row 3 with Pigham's lined up right beside him. It's going to be Tap in row 4 with Type R lined up beside him. It's going to be Doug Burrow in row 5 with Snozzer lined up beside him. And it'll be Hair Razor to round out our field here to start race number 2. 20-minute sprint here for race number 2. And then, of course, we will have some podium interviews after sprint number 2 with our top 3 from sprint number 2. And if it just so happens that that is one of our podium finishes from race number 1, we'll touch a little bit into race number 1 as well. And that's just to keep duration of podium interviews down a little bit, as it takes quite a while to get through 6 podium finishers here on the broadcast. So there's some good racing here so far from the Gtrc group, and I mean, if race 1 was any indication of how good race 2 is going to be, I mean, race 2 should be spicier because it's a 20-minute straight sprint to the finish here, so it's going to be interesting to see who pushes early and who waits till the end of the race to make their moves. But really, it's going to be key to not make that mistake here early on in the race, and put yourself down further through the field, because it's just going to be harder to climb through this very quick field here today, and really just keeping your car safe in the first 5 minutes of the race. And then that's kind of when the race starts to settle into its pace and drivers start to file out a little more single file, and then you only got 15 minutes at that point. So put your head down and put your foot into it, and hopefully that you take the checkered flag first at the end of the timer is always the ideal situation, obviously. But 2 minutes here coming from race control before we get race number 2 underway. So that race, you can see the drivers are out on track here now to just scrubbing in tires, doing those kinds of things. The race control officials are out there just running the track, making sure that it's safe and ready to go for the racers in race number 2. They're checking things like the walls, checking for debris on the racetrack, stuff like that. They're not out there cleaning the racetrack. I mean, a marble is the marbles. That kind of stuff they don't really do in between the races, but they're definitely checking for debris on the racetrack and just anything that might be a safety hazard for the racers while they're on the racetrack, or the spectators watching, of course, on the racetrack as well. Safety is, as always, and has been for many, many years, the forefront in motorsports. So safety first, action second. Alright, so I don't know what we think about race 1. I thought race 1 was a great race. All of these races so far have been exceptionally close and very hard fought here in the Mini Coopers. So I mean, just GG's to the series and the drivers with these cars. It's just a lot of fun. Just straight up a lot of fun. I'm not sure what these cars are set. I'm gonna have to go build this car and get it dialed in and tuned up, and go run it around for a few laps on the next track maybe, and just get a little bit of a better idea of what these drivers are dealing with these cars. But they're cruising, that's for sure. Ready, we're ready. Never. Never! Alright, we are good to go. Whenever a host does their thing, have a good race. You'll do your best. I know you will, my guy. I know you will. T-minus 10 seconds before these drivers are on the grid, ready to start race number 2. 20-minute sprint race here. No mandatory stop. Should be a full out send to the finish in these 2005 Mini Cooper Series S. So here we go. Lone Ghost starting the field off here on pole position in race number 2. Kick them tires, light them fires. We're going racing again, chat, and here we go. So we're just waiting for race control to be satisfied and get things underway, and there we go. They got the timer started. We're at 4 reds, 5 reds. Grid start with a full start check here. Don't want to jump that light. We're green, 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 and everybody gets off the line nice and clean and efficiently here in race number 1 this time. And it's the Lone Ghost heading in, bringing the field into turn 1 here for the first time in this 20-minute sprint race. The Lone Ghost in the lead. It's going to be Super right there in behind in second place. We've got Puzzlement there in third. We've got Mike in fourth position, and Bar 27 there in fifth. Pigham's taking a look up inside of Bar there, heading into that corner, and Bar takes it out real wide there, and he's going to lose maybe a couple of positions there coming up into the S's, but we're almost 3 wide coming up in through the S's there. A little bit of contact there, and it is everybody just trying to survive their Bar, and a little bit wide. We're almost 5 deep in behind these drivers here right now as we settle in. 3 wide coming into the corner, 2 deep. And I told you, this is going to be a spicier race, and here we go. The mid-pack is just crazy fighting hard right now, trying to gain every little bit of position we can. Bar 27 finding himself in 7th place and under fire here still. He's got Snozzer and Type R now right there giving him the business while they're battling for position in behind him. He stays on that defensive line, but you know what? He left a room there. Snozzer makes a bold move up the inside, 3 wide coming into corner 1. He's going to get the position done, and Bar 27 finding himself down into 9th place. So one driver making one little mistake and just dropping down the field here. So he's got a little bit of recovering to do here. And again, going wide again into that corner. He's going to lose yet another position to Hair Razor. And the only driver left in behind right now is Supra. So Bar 27's got to put his head down here. Oh, we have contact and action. Jackson going around, and that looked like a hard hit there into the wall. And oh boy, I'm not sure what happened there. I think there was contact between him and Dugborough. Looks like, I see Doug has pulled off of the track here. Oh, and most certainly mistake made there, and contact between Doug and Action Jackson there. And Doug just moves off to the edge of the racetrack there, gives that position back. And oh boy, not sure how it led to that there, but oh, you hate to see it. You hate to see it, but Doug doing the right thing, gives him the position back there, and well, those 2 drivers definitely got their work cut out for him here now, here in this 20-minute sprint race. So they gotta get it pedal down into it. They're both very quick. Lone goes off the track there on the left-hand side. He gets back on, and no harm, no foul it looks like there, but it's going to be Mike now in the race lead here. Got Tap in 2nd place. Puzzlement here still holding strong in 3rd. We got Hair Razor right there in 4th place. Absolutely moved up the packs very quickly here. Type R in 5th. We got Bar 27 back up into 6th place here. Super's followed him up through into 7th. We got Pigham's down into 8th position. We got Lone Ghost there in 9th place. Snozzer here in 10th place, and Doug here now in 11th. And poor Doug here, he's got his work cut out for him here. 4 seconds in behind, but don't count those 2 drivers out here yet. You never know what's going to happen here, but yeah, you hate to see it, but the right thing was done there. They sorted that out right themselves on the racetrack, and that's all you can ask for. Accidents happen, and immediately instant responsibility was taken there. So it is Mike here in 1st position with Tap here in 2nd place. We have Puzzlement still doing a great job here in 3rd place. Hair Razor chasing half a second in behind there in trying to grab another podium here for himself tonight. Bar 27 here in 5th place, and it's Supra and Type R battling there for 6th and 7th place. We're 3 wide coming into quarter 1 with Pigham's in the middle of this Mini Cooper sandwich there, and you can see he just plays it smart there, lets Supra go ahead up in front, but he still manages to grab that position on Type R there, move up into 7th place, and we're deciding to work on just one at a time here, not put himself in a compromised position there, and that was probably the best call he could have made right there. That may not have ended well for all 3 of those drivers. We got Lone here in 10th position and Dugborough in 11th place. So interesting racing here. Like I said, it's going to be much more spicy in this 20-minute race. It's a lot shorter, and there's no mandatory pit stop. There's a lot more in line here in the 2nd race. So it is Mike in the lead here. It's Tap in 2nd place. We got Puzzlement here, Rock and Rollin' in 3rd place. We got Hair Razor here in 4th position, fastest man on the racetrack again, 47.296 that time around. We got Bar 27 here in 5th place, 1.2 seconds in behind that front pack. Super now has settled in 6th place here, but has Pigham starting to put a little bit of pressure on him here in 7th position in behind here as well. Type R in 8th place, and just doing what Type R does, man. He just sticks to his pace, and he just gives it more, puts him on the racetrack and puts him. But boy, oh boy, if you're trying to find your way around that race car driver, he is a defense specialist. He is extremely hard to get around. Lone Ghost here in 10th place, and he's got Doug Burrow up here in 11th place. Here he's going to move up the inside coming into the final corner here. Are we going to see a battle for 10th place? Here we are. Doug's going to take it up the inside there. And good clean racing between those two drivers, and Doug's going to find himself up into 10th place. And the pack just up the road there. So, like I said, just got to put your head down. And you absolutely just got to send it at that point in the race now. And that is definitely what him and Snozzer are going to be doing here as they continue their charge back up the racetrack. Got Mike here in the lead. He's still got Tap very close in behind here in 2nd place. And these two have been stuck to each other like glue all day long. And it is just going off again here in this 20-minute sprint race. It is Mike again going defensive into this final corner here. Catches a little bit of that sausage curb, and that's going to allow Tap to really close in on the back door of that Mini Cooper here. And we may even see a potential battle for position here. So Tap is just going to take it on the outside here. And again, if he can hang on the outside here, he could get the position for the next two corners, but again, it just doesn't seem to work out that way. And coming into turn 1 of Maggiore, it's very hard to hold strong on the outside there, and I understand that very well on this racetrack. It's one of my favorite tracks. I know it very well. It's got nuances, and there's just some places where it's just really hard to stick it on the outside, and that is turn 1, and turn 1 is one of those corners. You have a lot of momentum on the braking coming in there, and it's really hard to get the car to not go wide coming out of turn 1 on the outside. So Mike knows what he's doing here while he's defending against Tap right now, but all this battling is doing is allowing the back part of the pack to catch back up to their leaders here. You can see Puzzlement is closing in as these two are side by side again heading into turns 1 and 2 here on lap number 9, and with 13 minutes and 25 seconds left, we're probably going to be seeing this all race long here. But Tap he does this time, he sticks it on the outside, and that gives him that optimal position into turn 2 and 3 and gives him the race lead. So there we go, race lead now belongs to Tap here as he's finally gotten the job done on Mike there, and it was a very good, clean, efficient, calculated move on Tap's part there, and he gets the job done taking the race lead away. Puzzleman is still holding very strong here in 3rd place, with Hair Razor in 4th place just in behind. We got Bar 27 here in 5th, with Pigham's chasing in 6th place, and we got Hair Razor making a charge on for that 3rd place position here. And oh boy, he eats all kinds of that sausage curb there. That curb is almost as big as these cars, so you can see that really cost him time on the racetrack, and now he's under fire from Bar 27. He's going to take a look up the inside coming into turn 1 here on Hair Razor, and that attempted pass there actually going to cost him an extra position potentially here on the racetrack. We'll have to see what happens here into turns 1 and 2, but it is Hair Razor and Bar 27, and they are very side by side coming through turns 3 here. And a great run by both those drivers, are basically pushing each other down the racetrack. You can see Pickham's just off in the background off of this fight here as well in 6th place. So every little mistake does make a difference here. Supra in 7th place, but he's under fire here from Type R. Now Type R side by side with Supra as we come through the S's there. Lots of respect given between the two drivers there. Lots of room given, and Supra's going to be holding on to P7 here for the time being, but Type R is going to take a look here heading into this final corner. Nice tight line around the corner. Can he get the run? No. Supra's going to get the run out of the corner and hold down 7th place here for the time being from Type R. Snozzer here in 9th position, and you can see the damage done to that front of that racing car there, and he's got 3.7 seconds, so he's working hard at catching up here. Doug in 10th place, much of the same thing. Both these drivers working very hard there after that early race incident, trying to get back up to the back of that pack and continue fighting for battles here. We got Lone Ghost in 11th position here. Alright, so it is Tap, and he's opening up a gap. Hey, we made a funny. Look at that, 3/4 of a second here as we head into the final corner here on Maggiore Center. And as we get ready to start lap 12, it is Tap here in the race lead. It's Mike 1972 in 2nd place, and Puzzlement is giving him the beans right now here in 3rd position. So these top 3 very close together. They're in their little pack here right now, and well, you just never know what's going to happen in racing. Waka 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 waka. How's it going, Aaron? We got Bar 27 here in 4th place. We got Hair Razor here in 5th. We've got Pegum starting to put pressure on Hair Razor here in 6th place as well. We've got Type R in 8th place. We've got Snozzer in 9th place as well, and the gap is 3.4 seconds. So Snozzer working hard to try and close up the next group of cars in this pack here, but they're in tough company here today, with Doug Burrow very close behind here in 10th place chasing, and Lone Ghost here in 11th. I do suspect that when we see Doug and Snozzer hook up here, I actually expect to see those two probably work together to try and push that next group of cars up in front. I mean, the timer is already running down. We're almost at the halfway point of the race as Tap comes through the start-finish line there in the race lead. So Tap coming into turn 1 still has the lead, but he's still got Mike and Puzzlement very close behind here in 2nd and 3rd place. Bar 27 is only 1.3 seconds off of Puzzlement there in 4th place, just in behind them. That leaves Hairraiser and Piggums nose to tail here at 5th and 6th place as well. And Piggums has slowly but surely been just reeling those two drivers back in. Super here in 7th position. He's got a little bit of space right now on Type R, about a half a second, and been doing a good job of holding the charge off. But boy, oh boy, are these two coming. Snozzer and Doug have taken a second out of those two drivers last time around the racetrack here, and a little bit of patience and working together here really could put these two back up into positional battles here. We'll have to see, but they got to continue to work together to make this work in their favor. Alright, so it is still Tap at the race lead. He's got almost a second. He's almost got to the point where that slipstream isn't a factor for the 2nd place driver behind him here. That is ideally what the race leader is looking for here today. We got Puzzlement here in 3rd position, and then there's a 1.5 second gap, so the top 3 just need to keep it right and tight for another 9 minutes and 10 seconds here. We got Bar 27 in 4th place, Hairraiser and Piggums right there very close behind in 5th and 6th place. So hard to say what's going to happen yet in this race, but still half the race remaining. So let's keep rocking and rolling here. We got Supra in 7th position with Type R chasing in 8th, and that gap is about 6/10 of a second. We got Snozzer here in 9th. We got Doug here in 10th position. And again, you can see they're just trying to work together to close up that group up in front of them here, and they're doing a good job. They got it down to 1.5 second gap here. So Lone Ghost here in 11th place and looking strong. He's doing good. He's been doing good. We love to see it. So it is Tap leading the charge here. It's going to be Mike in the 2nd position and Puzzlement here in 3rd place, and looking absolutely, well, juiced, as it says on our car right there. We've got Apex Bar 27 here in 4th position with Piggums here in 5th and Hairraiser here in 6th. So Piggums has found his way around Hairraiser here, so that was a position change over the last couple laps there as well. So Piggums now up 1 spot over Hairraiser. We got Super here in 7th position. We got Type R here in 8th. We got Snozzer in 9th place. Doug Barrow still here in 10th, and where are they now? They're still 1.5 seconds in behind the two guys up in front there, so they are definitely working hard, but time is not necessarily on their side here as that clock continues to move downward, not upward. So it is Tap still holding on strong here. It's about 8.5 tenths here. He's just maintaining the gap right now on Mike 1972, who's much doing the same thing here for Puzzlement in 3rd place, who's trying to do the same thing for the two drivers in behind her here with Bar 27 and Piggums. And Piggums is starting to close in on Bar 27 here as well. So is he going to make a quick position change here with Bar 27 and fight him for that spot, or are they going to work together to try and catch that front pack now? Really is the bigger question. With 7 minutes remaining, you definitely have 5 or a half dozen laps to see if you can do that, but at some point you're going to have to make that decision whether or not you're going to have a crack at that battle up for the podiums there. And Piggums was taking a look there. He just misjudged that exit, and he wasn't able to get the run he was looking for on Bar 27 there, and that was going to be a quick, efficient passer if he would have got that run, but he's going to try and take it on the S's here. So side by side as we go through the S's, and Piggums is going to eat all of that curb there just to make sure there was enough room given there by the two drivers, and we're still side by side. Bar 27 having the optimal line coming into this corner here, but we've seen the drivers do really well in that middle line here in the final corner on that exit, and Bar has just a little less weight in his racing car than Piggums does. Bar is going to hold the position from Piggums here for the time being, but Piggums is not done. He's just immediately going to re-engage. He's fastest man on the track right now, 46.990 as well. And as we head into turn 1, it's side by side heading into turns 2 and 3. And again, now we're side by side this time as Pickens is absolutely just hanging it on a tough side of the racetrack right now, trying to stay in that position on the outside. But again, he's just going to have to find himself settling back in behind bar 27 here. And now that's allowing 6th place driver Hairraiser to get right into the mix here. So 3-way battle here for 4th place right now between bar 27, Pickens, and Hairraiser. We're going to stick with this little battle here for a minute. We got a nice tight pack in the back there too with Doug and Snozzer and Super and Type R here as well. But right now, this is definitely where the action is, and it's still Pickens and bar 27 fighting it hard here. Bar 27's been doing a great job so far at managing the attack of Pickens here. We've got Supra in 7th place. We've got Type R in 8th. We've got Snozzer here still in 9th position, and Doug here in 10th place. And here we go as we head into turns 1 and 2. Let's see how this all settles out here. So nobody's willing to give a millimeter of space to each other here as far as an inside position goes, and it's a whole lot of defensive driving from all 4 of these drivers here right now as we head into turn 3, and we are nose to tail for 8th, 9th, 10th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th position here as we head up the S's. There's some good racing happening here on the track. We got Lone Ghost here in 11th place, still on the lead lap here as well. So it is Tap, and he's coming around. He's got a 1 second gap now over Mike 1972. He's got 2 seconds over Puzzlement, who's got 2.5 seconds over bar 27, who is still battling with Pickens here for 4th place. So with just under 5 minutes remaining, it is battle on. But Pickens got it done on the outside that time. Got that optimal line coming inside of turn 2 and 3 here, and he's finally going to get the job done there on bar 27 for the time being. He gets the move done, but now he's got to play defense here as bar 27 and Hairraiser 5th and 6th place is still right there in behind. Super here in 7th, and he's still holding strong, leading this group of 4 here. And Snozzer gets a little bit deep into the grass there. That's going to now allow Doug to try and get something done up the inside there. A little bit of contact between the two as they head through the S's there. And oh boy, it is some spicy racing happening here in the back of the pack. Doug manages to get around Snozzer there, and Type R here in 8th place just has not had an answer for Supra there up in 7th position here. Has not been able to get around him here all race long. He's tried a couple of times, but Super just seems to have the answer for Type R here today. But it is Tap here, 1.2 seconds up the road from Mike 1972 right now, and these two have been battling good all race long. Puzzlement here in 3rd position as well. We have Pickens here in 4th place. We got bar 27 in 5th. We've got Hairraiser here in 6th. We've got Supra in 7th. We've got Type R in 8th. We've got Doug here in 9th position. Action Jackson here in 10th place, and Lone Ghost here rounding out our field in 11th position as he heads into turn 1 and 2 here on lap 21. Alright, so Tap comes around with 3 minutes and 12 seconds left on the clock at the start-finish line there. We're going to see about 4 laps out of these drivers here before the end of this race. We got Puzzlement here in 3rd position. We got Pickens now trying to chase her down in 3rd place. 1.4 seconds is that gap. We got bar 27 here in 5th. We got Hairraiser in 6th. We got Supra in 7th. We got Type R battling it out here with Doug for 8th and 9th position here, and Type R is going to hold a position down for the time being. Snozzer just falling a little bit off at that pack there for here in 10th place, and Lone Ghost here in 11th position, but it is Tap here moving down, and with 2.5 minutes remaining left on the clock, we got 3 to go here. So going to see 25 laps from these drivers here today in this 20-minute race, and it is Mike 1972 here still 2nd place. Puzzlement here still doing a great job in 3rd position. We got Pickens here in 4th. We've got bar 27 in 5th, and we got Hairraiser in 6th. These 3 settling down just a little tiny bit here, but I'm sure that's all going to change before the end of the race as they try to close each other back up here. We got Type R and Super here in 7th and 8th place. Oh boy, and Super made a big mistake there. Type R and Doug both trying to take advantage there. Doug up the inside. Super gets the job done on the outside. That wasn't an easy pass to make. Or Type R, sorry. So Super dropping 2 positions quickly there with just that little bobble into the corner. Type R making a big move on the outside. Doug taking it up the inside, and Super finding himself down in the 9th place. All of a sudden, Snozzer right here in 10th position, and Lone Ghost in 11th. And it's that easy when you make a mistake here on this racetrack. Interesting how the 2 packs had developed with the race. Yeah, for sure, Aaron. Alright, so it is Tap here. Tap has been in control of this race since he's made his way around Mike 1972 on about lap 3 or 4 there. and it's just kind of been managing the pace of the race since then. Mike here doing a great job in second position here as well, and Puzzlement here in third place. And now Puzzlement is feeling the pressure here from our championship points leader, Pigham's here. And are we going to see a move up the inside here? I don't think so. I think Pigham's is just chilling here. We're going to see a last lap attack here coming from Pigham's, and a little bit of a mistake made there by Puzzlement, and that's going to allow Pigham's to get a run there. So side by side as we head into turns 1 and 2 here is Puzzlement and Pigham's. Puzzlement actually comes across the start-finish line in the third position there, as Pigham's is going to try and get it done on the outside here. He gets a little switcheroo to get a different line coming into the track here, and are we going to see the same thing coming out of the corner here? No. Alright, so it is Puzzlement doing a great job here in third position. So it is Tap here in first place. It's Mike in second place here. And they're just working around Lone Ghost there. Lone Ghost getting out of the way, letting them through nice and easy. We got Puzzlement here in third with Pigham's here in fourth place. And we're trying to keep our eye on this. So we're not sure if we're going to see Piggies make the move or not here, but it is going to be Tap coming around here, and it's going to be one more time around this racetrack. So I figured it was going to be done here, but they're going to just squeeze through that timer there. So Tap, Mike, and Puzzlement are going to go around another time here. Pigham's is going to go around. No, it is not. It's going to be a race finish there. So it is Puzzlement in third place. It's going to be Pigham's very close behind in fourth. It's going to be Bar 27 in fifth. It's going to be Hair Razor in sixth place. We got Type R here coming across in seventh. Boy, it was that close between him and Doug. It was a drag race there. Doug Play is going to finish in eighth. Super is going to finish in ninth. Snozzy's going to finish in 10th there. Lone Ghost is going to bring it home here in 11th place. And a great job to Puzzlement. I believe that's her first podium finish here in the lobby here in this group. So congratulations to her for that. That was a great race finish there, and Pickham's your legend, my dude. Tap here in first place. We got Mike 1972 here in second. It is going to be Tap to take home the race win. It's going to be Mike 1972 bringing it home there in second place. Lone Ghost is going to be the last driver to take our checkered flag here today. And that was some great racing here from our drivers in race number 2. So Hair Razor with the race win in race number 1. Snozzer in second place, and I believe it was Doug in third place in race number 1. But race number 2, much of a different result here, and that is why that reverse order is so fantastic. Alright, so it's Tap with the race win. It's going to be Mike in second place. It's going to be Puzzlement in third position. Pigham's in fourth. Bar 27 in fifth. Hair Razor in sixth. Pigham's has fastest lap on the racetrack. Type R in seventh. Doug Burrow in eighth place. It's going to be Super finishing in ninth. It's going to be Snozzer in 10th position. It's going to be Lone Ghost rounding out the field here in 11th place. And that was some great racing here by this group again today. These Mini Coopers legit have just not been disappointing. So, you know what time it is next, Jack? Interviews. Alright, so we'll just give the drivers an opportunity, obviously, to make their way into the podium box, if that's what they choose to do. Of course, it's not a mandatory thing. It is purely voluntary, but if the drivers do want to come in, we'll be looking to talk with Puzzlement, Mike, and Tap here this afternoon for their race finishes, and we love to see different faces standing on the podium. That is what it's all about, and I'm pretty sure that is Puzzlement's first podium in a non-multi-class lobby here. So congratulations to her. That was she had great pace there in all of race number 2. Kept it neat, kept it tidy, kept it clean, and rewarded with a great podium finish. Absolutely, Ruben. Great racing by those. Great racing by all the drivers, not just those 3 specifically, but GG's to the whole racing field. That was great racing out there today. Tell you, this community, they put on fantastic races week in and week out. It's always very well paced drivers, and they battle hard all race long, and it was no exception here today. These Mini Coopers just provide such great racing class, don't they? It's so much fun, and the creativeness with the drivers and their paint jobs too is beautiful. We love to see it. So yeah, there you go, Mini Coopers, you're watching. Gtrc knows what it's about. All right, well, we'll give it a few minutes here. Let's recap. So let's move into race number one to start with. I mean, really the key of race number one was three key battles there. It was a key battle between Hair Raiser and Snozzer for first and second place. That battle was all race long. We had that key battle between Mike 1972 and Tap for the majority of race number one as well. For fifth and sixth place for a large part of that. And then we had that key battle in ninth and 10th place between Puzzlement and Supra as well. So we had three really kind of key battles in race number one in that half-hour sprint race that really kept the action thick and thrilling on the racetrack. But I mean, that mid-pack battle early on in race number one too was crazy. I mean, 5-6 car battle happening there, everybody trying to sort themselves out. And then we move into race two, reverse order based off of race results in number one. Some added weights and ballast and all that great stuff added to some of the drivers' cars and behind the scenes. And then race number two takes away. And well, you know, some of the drivers that started up front are gifted that reverse order grid there, getting the front pack start, really took advantage of that good position in race start, really took advantage and found themselves standing on the podium in race number two. So we actually had 6 different podium finishers here today, and you don't see that too often in a dual sprint race format. Usually there's a 1 or 2 drivers that end up double podium somewhere, somehow, in some shape or form. But today we definitely had 6 different podium finishers out of 11 drivers in 2 races. So it just goes to show it how the series setup really does make it anyone's race to win or lose here in the series. So well, there we go. We got them all just like that. They all popped in. Bada bing, bada boom. So well, let's go have a little chat with our drivers. Just give me 1 second to adjust my audios here, chat, and we'll go have a little talk with our podium finishers from race number 2. All right. Everything's working. Let's get into it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so we are going to start with our third place driver here, Puzzlement, and had a good scrappy race in race number 1 here with Super for that 9th and 10th place position in that 30-minute race, and that was a very healthy race, long battle. And then reverse grid coming into race number 2, you get a great starting position, and boy, did you ever take advantage of that great starting position. You had great race pace in race number 2, and you kept that car neat and tidy and nice and clean, and were rewarded there with third place finish in race number 2. So congratulations, and talk us through your race day today.
Thank you for that. It was hard. The first race was good. It was hard to get past Super, and yeah, just changing in between. And then the second race, I thought, like in the last few laps there, that Piggins was definitely going to get me. But it was good. It was good, and you know, trying to keep the pace and trying not to drop back. But yeah, no, it was good fun.
Absolutely. I mean, as Piggins is starting to close in, you have about 3 laps to go, and he's starting to close in. I mean, what's going through your mind at that point? We know that he's the championship points leader coming in today, so we know he's a fairly quick driver. What's going through your mind? Are you thinking, I'm just going to defend and try not to let him by, or are you just kind of letting the cards fall where they fall in that at that moment in time at the end of the race here?
Fast, and I'm just gonna keep trying. Yeah, no, just keep trying and just see if I can hold him off for as long as I can. And luckily enough, I did. I thought in the last corner he was going to have me because I definitely overshot it a bit. But then that's pressure was just getting to me. But yeah, no, it was grand. It was all right.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, you've been around the community here for a few months, and you've been putting in a lot of work on the racetrack and behind the scenes, and of course, obviously in the competition races, and you know, week in and week out, we continue to see pace improvement and racing improvement from you, and today that hard work is rewarded with a podium finish. So, you know, congratulations. It's really fun to see the different podium finishers stepping onto the series, and I think that the staff did a great job of setting this series up, because it really is a race for any driver in the field to win with how they got this set up here this season. So I guess with that being said, any final remarks from your race here today, and then any shout outs you want to throw out to the viewers watching at home?
No, just it was a good race, and yeah, just thank you to everyone, and yeah, no, thank you.
We really appreciate you taking a few minutes to come talk with us here and talk to the fans. And you know what, congratulations on that third place finish, and we're gonna let you get home, get into that clubhouse, and go celebrate with your crew and your friends. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Puzzlement there. Fantastic racing from her this season, and she continues just to, she continues to make people pay attention. She's a force to start being reckoned with here. She's been battling hard in this racetrack all season long, and today she was rewarded. So, look out, racers! Got another one in the mix here, and that's what we love to see, and that's what it's all about. So, the important thing is the drivers need to have fun, and as long as they're having fun, really, that's the important thing at the end of the day. But yeah, it always feels good to have a podium here and there too, I'm sure. So let's move over to our second place driver, Mike. Him and Tap all race one and race two long, really very equally paced within each other here today and battling very hard. All race one and then pretty much race two. It wasn't really battling. They had that early on battle to settle out first, second place, and then it was just pace management from there to bring home their best race finish they could today. So Mike 1972 coming home here in second place here in race number two and having a great race in race number one, but looking like you had to do a little bit of fuel conservation there near the end, and it cost you a few positions, but definitely coming back with a great race finish here in number two. So talk us through your day of racing here today, and congratulations.
Yeah, thanks for that, Tim. Race one, yeah, I didn't realise how much fuel I had to put in at the pit stop. Thought with stopping sort of one lap short of half distance, that as long as I put in more than half fuel, it would have been fine. But I think it was with four laps to go, I had to start saving fuel, and I just couldn't hold that. Fourth place or fifth? I can't remember, but finished eighth, but not that bad. Race two was a bit better. Racing with Tap, both races actually, very, very hard to keep him behind. Just managed to on the first race until I had to fuel save, but race two, I lost concentration a little and he just slipped up the inside of me, but these things happen. But to finish second, that was quite good.
Absolutely, and I mean, you did a really, really great job. I mean, we're talking about race one here, and like you were saying, really having to how hard it was to keep Tap in behind because he was just applying such constant pressure for really a large part of the race, and really I think the only reason why he got around in race number one there was, like you said, just a little bit of loss of focus. He went a little deep into the corner, opened up that line, and that was just all he needed. Stick his nose in and try to make something happen. But race number two is much more calculated. Obviously you guys studying each other obviously in that first race battle, and he must have picked up on something, and he made a pretty decisive move there in the second race, and then just tried to manage the gap. But I mean, you had great pace. You were scrapping hard there all race long, and it seems to be that these Mini Coopers are really good raceable cars in close quarters. So I mean, let's talk about the car. Let's talk about what you guys have for the equipment underneath of you. I guess, how do they feel this season, and what's it like racing these cars around these little racetracks?
Yeah, the cars are great, especially with the ballast system. It seems to work quite well. But you can toy with a few settings on the car, not much. Most of it's set by the hosts, and you're not allowed too much tuning. But the tuning that you are does seem to make a big bit of difference, especially in a short track like this. I think I had a little too much downforce on for the two straights, but I'll live and learn for the next race. We'll see. Depending on the track, I may lower it or keep it the same. We'll just see what it is.
Absolutely, and I mean the shakeup of the way the races went today. I mean, our championship points leader is not ideally finishing in positions that they probably would like to see for themselves, and that's allowing all the drivers that are in the mid part of the standings really to make some good point gains on those drivers here today. So I mean, when we head into round 5 in a couple weeks' time, those standings are going to be telling a significantly different story, and we're going to really see drivers tightening up in points. I mean, we're going to be seeing points separated by just 1 or 2 points between positions here. I think through the top 6 or 7 drivers the way today ended up. But I mean, how does that or does that change the way that you practice going into future rounds when the standings get that tight together like that?
Yeah, you need to practice. And as you said there, with some of the drivers up the front of the table not having such a good day, it sort of makes it a bit more interesting for the next round to come. So I'll definitely be putting in a little more practice this time, and we'll see what it brings.
Absolutely. And I mean, you looked spectacular out there. You've been looking good all season long, not only in these minis, but also in the Porsche Cup as well. So, I mean, with that being said, I guess any final remarks or anything you want to add to your race here today, and any shout outs for the viewers watching at home?
Yeah, just thanks to the guys for organising this race. Just awesome little race cars and awesome bunch of guys to race with.
Absolutely. And I guess the biggest question is you had yourself some fun today, right? That's the main thing.
We certainly did.
Absolutely. Perfect. Well, I mean, that's what it's all about at the end of the day is, I mean, yes, we're competing and we're putting pressure on ourselves as individual drivers to do well, but at the end of the day, really, it is just about getting together with our friends and just having a good spirited battle on the racetrack. And I would say we've seen a pretty good spirited battle on the racetrack here today from all the drivers. So, but yeah, we definitely appreciate you taking some time and coming and hanging out with us as always. We always appreciate talking to you, and have yourself a good celebration in pit lane there with the crew back in the paddock.
Will do.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Mike, 1972. This driver, we're not done talking to this driver this season. I assure you of that. He has some skill behind the wheel of these race cars, and he continues to prove it each week. But let's talk about this man, Mr. Tapp here, coming in with a big race win today. He had, like we said to Mike, you had very, very healthy battles all 30-minute race number one long, trying to gain positions. And, that battle between you and Mike was really, really a great battle. It was one of the key battles throughout race number one, in my opinion, next to the battle for the lead. And, of course, the 9th and 10th in behind you guys as well. In a sense, you really want that position. You got good pace. The driver up front's got good pace, but you're having such a hard time finding your way around that driver. At some point during a race like that, do you just get it in your mind that you're really just that's the position you're battling for now to the timer runs out, because you just it's taking so long to try and find that opening? Or is it, once I get around him, we'll see where we're at and see if we can grab one more? I mean, what's going through your mind in a race long battle like that with a driver?
For me, it's like trying to settle into a pace and then wait for that opening that might happen or might not, depending, or to just end up sitting behind him the whole race. Either way, I'm gonna make it to the end if I just keep my focus. That's pretty much what I was trying to pay attention to in the whole race. Focus. That's about it.
Absolutely. And I mean, it's tough to do that. The cars, the slipstream seems to grab these cars pretty good kind of once you get pulled into that half-second range, and then it really tightens you up on the drivers in front. And you guys are so well at coming around corners, literally almost touching each other's bumpers and not making that contact or not changing each other's trajectories. I mean, focus obviously being the biggest key of that, and obviously a little bit of understanding of physics helps a little bit in the race car as well. But that was much of what you and Mike were doing here all race one, and then
it was the best fun so far this season.
Absolutely,
battling with Mike there. Those two races were insane.
But I mean, and race one and just falling a little short to the podium there in race one too. It was a great effort there to get there. But then we come into race number two and I mean,
a little bit of weight actually made it feel more settled in. So I don't know. It seemed that I got the same lap times I did in the first race, so it seemed pretty good.
Well, I mean, maybe it just settles the car a little bit there with a little bit of weight. And again, ladies and gentlemen, we just kind of maybe have a question mark about that. Obviously, the way it works is championship standings. Now that we've have some rounds ran, the top 5 drivers come into race number one with a specific extra amount of weight added into their race car. And then after race one's finished, the top 5 drivers, again, will also have to add weight into those race cars, or removed depending on the order, of course, and depending on where every driver's sitting in between race 1 and 2. And then once race control has got those drivers inspected on the proper weight, they set that grid on a reverse order based off race 1 standings. And that's what's really keeping these races so tight and so close together, the added weight to some of these cars from our front runners. And well, I mean, you guys seen it firsthand today, what can happen on the racetrack. Battles all race long and nose to tail racing from the whole field. So and it was no exception for you. But I mean, race number 2 is a little more controlled for you. You spent a lot of time obviously battling and driving in behind Mike in the first race, and you battled with Mike only for a brief amount of time early on in race number 2 there, and you kind of just picked your spot. You made the call, you got your nose in there and made it happen, and then didn't really look back since. So once you got out in front, what was the trick there? Really just kind of breaking the slipstream and just managing that gap for the remainder of the race?
I kind of got it in a programmed in my brain with just pretty much from following the whole bit from the first race and then into the second race. And then once I got past that point, I kind of like autopilot for the braking zones and stuff, since I've been doing it for the whole bit for that. But then a lot of times too, I found where if I focus too much with that, like I end up breaking out too late or something sometimes and messing up a little bit, and he'd close the gap on me.
Absolutely, and I mean, tough racing out there. Short racetrack too. There's not a lot of corners on Lago Maggiore center circuit. I think there's like 5 corners or 6 corners total on here if you count the S's in. So, it's is that kind of what you're doing when you're running around the racetrack? You're closing in on a driver, or is that exactly what it is? You're assessing which of those 3 or 4 or 5 corners on the racetrack is their weakest point, and is that kind of ideally where you try to capitalize?
Yeah, they try and get us tuck in behind them for the coming out of the exit of the corner as best possible to get all that slipstream for the straights. So then you can try to maximize the amount of distance you might get, because you don't get a lot of time.
Well, we've seen a couple of instances here too, where some of our drivers that had the extra weight in their racing cars, we're navigating quite well in through the cornering sectors. But then when they got it out of the corner and they got into that side by side battle, we did start to see, the cars without that extra weight outdrive them in the straightaway. So, is that something that you have to think about too as well? We obviously in this series I got X amount of added weight into my car. This is where my car is going to be weaker. So when you're practicing, that something you're kind of considering when you're doing your laps and you're testing and you're tuning?
Try and have someone close by in case you need to get sleep in some slipstream.
Absolutely.
That's pretty much the best I ever think about when it comes to getting that extra weight.
And I mean,
stick to them.
We have heard some of the drivers say that the lower amounts of weights that get added in seem to really do actually kind of help settle the car down. But I think once you get, as Piggins was stating in the paddock earlier in the race today,
the top 3 section, it's a bit much.
2 boat anchors in the back of his car makes it a little bit difficult to drive. So, you were away obviously for work reasons, and you were just able to get back in a race. So, I mean, ultimately, I guess what's your biggest goal when you're only going to get partial seasons in? What are you looking for when you come into these races each week?
Pretty much, it's always just try and give it the whole 100% every time I try to get on. Since, like I usually say, I'm always gone for 4 weeks at a time. So, whatever I can get, I'll just full on out. That's it.
Absolutely. Well, we definitely appreciate the undying support from yourself as a driver here at the GTRC community. And we definitely love seeing you on track, because when you're on track, you're always providing great moments for the viewers at home to be watching, and just showing what you really do have for skill behind the wheel of a race car. And today rewarded for it with a nice big race win in race number 2 and a pretty solid finish in race number 1. So, congratulations for that, and thank you for what you do as well. From myself to you, we won't say it, but we do appreciate what you do, and we definitely look forward to seeing you next week for Porsche. Yes.
Heck yes.
Right on. There we go. Tap will be back.
Everything that you guys do as well, because I know it's a lot of work, and you guys do a great job with everything from the penalty system all the way up to all this commentating. It's insane. It's great work. And congrats to Puzzle and Mike with your podiums as well. And I'll see you guys next week.
Absolutely. And we appreciate you taking some time to come hang out with us and chat with us. But we'll let you get back to that paddock and go celebrate a huge race victory here in race number 2 in your first week back from work. So great racing, and definitely can't wait to see you next week.
See you next week.
Hey, cheers. Cheers. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. That's 3 podium interviews here today. And you know what? They always have great things to say. We don't always ask the easiest questions, and sometimes we ask some very confusing questions. But you know what? They always answer them. So, GG's to all our interviewees. Michael McKenzie coming in with the thumbs up on the stream. Appreciate you, Mike. I hope you're doing fantastic. Fantastic racing here from these guys. Every week is much of the same thing from our GTRC community. They come in, they have one goal in mind, and that's to put on a good, fun, hard-fought race for everybody that's watching at home. And I would definitely say that they definitely most certainly do that. So I just wanted to say thank you to the Gran Turismo racing community, its admin team from behind the scenes getting this stuff organized, set up, and of course keeping it running throughout the season, to our stewarding officials behind the scenes that settle any disputes that may have happened on the racetrack, right down to our drivers that come in every week to put in the work, put in the time, and jump on track and give us something to watch here on the weekends. So a huge love to the GTRC, the Gran Turismo racing community. Your host for the evening, GT45 Gaming, and we'll be back next weekend, same time, same channel, 3 p.m. Eastern time here at GT45 Gaming and GTRC YouTube, and we'll be back with round 5 of our Porsche Cup Challenge. So stay tuned for that. It is going to be a doozy. The grids have been stacked all season long, and those Porsches are a lot of fun to watch, just like these Mini Coopers are. So we'll see y'all next weekend at 3 p.m. Eastern time. We appreciate y'all. Stay tuned. There's going to be a little more action coming from GT45 Gaming here today in a different sense of content, but we'll be back live a little bit later this afternoon for everybody as well as we go on a little journey in history. But we appreciate y'all. Family-friendly broadcast. Don't forget to like and share this bad boy out. Free to do. Helps us all grow. And hey, if it's free, it only takes a couple seconds of your time to hit those buttons. We appreciate it. For those of you that have, your legends, you all know the grill, man. We appreciate that support. And onward and upward, one race at a time, ladies and gentlemen. We are trying to change the world with good vibes and positivity. So GTRC's a forefront of that here, in my opinion. And well, you hear it firsthand from the drivers at the end of every week's race when they're just having fun and excited about what went down on the racetrack. So, what else can we say? But it was a lot of fun today with these Mini Coopers here in Italy, and I can't wait to see what the drivers are going to bring to us in Porsche Cup next week. Remember, you all matter. That is the most important thing. Take care of you. Reach out if you're struggling. Somebody's there to listen and help you out. I assure you that our door is always open here at GT45 Gaming. We do the best we can to help every one of our community members with whatever it is that they may be going through on a very confidentiality basis as well. Stay winning. It's a mental health statement as well. It's my motto here at the page, and it just means keep your head up and always be pushing forward no matter how bad things seem they are. Somebody else is always in a worse position than you are, and never forget that. It can always be worse, so just keep pushing forward and just don't give up. And that's what stay winning means here at GT45 Gaming. So we appreciate y'all, and well, what else can we say? Until the next time, until the next great action, and until the next racetrack and classic cars gets on, ACC next tomorrow night. I had a little brain fart there. I was trying to think what the next commentary was. 8 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow night. We'll be back live with ACC from Infinite Racing League here for our next live racing action here to finish off our weekend and get ready for the next work week. So again, Ruben, we love you, my dude. You've been in here just killing it all day long. Congratulations to Mike and Sarah, Aaron, Josh, Kilt. There's a few others there too that we're just watching in the background. We appreciate all you guys hanging out with us here today, and happy racing. That was some good action here from the GTRC community. No ballast for this race, yay! Oh, you're good, Doug. You're good, Doug. It happens, buddy. It happens. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so we will be back at some point later tonight for some different content. We appreciate y'all. We're going to send you off with a little highlight video and some music, and we'll be back tomorrow night. We appreciate it. Love y'all. See you soon.